Hi, here we are on Wednesday night. It's not even 5 o'clock yet. I am so not behind the 8 ball tonight. It's wonderful. I'm making tortilla soup tonight with our leftover roast chicken from Sunday. It's not going to take all of the roast chicken, not all the leftover. I have some out just plain for the kids and some out for maybe I'll make some chicken noodle soup for later this week or this weekend. But I took it all off the carcass already because, and this is kind of like, look at that rack, right? But so that's great. I don't, when I'm picking a chicken, a lot of times I don't actually even take the stuff off the wings and stuff if I know I'm going to put it in a stock pot, because those are full of all kinds of good collagen, which is part of what makes chicken stock so good for you. Now, tortilla soup is one of my favorite things to do with leftover chicken. You can always make one of those like cream of mushroom casserole kind of things, but I can't eat dairy, so I like this because it's full of vegetables. You can put avocados in it, and the kids love the tortilla strips that we make to go with it, and it's really great. In California, where I lived for 11 years, I learned to love this and learned how to make it. And it's on the menu at all kinds of little coffee shops and diners and stuff, just like chowder or tomato soup would be on the menu here on the East Coast. And there are all kinds of different recipes, and so you kind of take what you like from each one and make your own. So I have brought out, and it's a good thing I have this chicken carcass because I pulled out my last quart of chicken stock from the freezer this afternoon. And so I have it here in this pot. Remember this pot from last Friday? It's the same one. It's like a 3.5 quart. It's a great size for making soup. So I'm gonna heat that up so that it's boiling. And sometimes you can saute your onions and your garlic and your peppers together, but I find that it's just adding extra fat. And I'm using the dark meat of the chicken, and I don't skim my chicken stock. I leave the fat in it because the fat's good for you. So it can make it a little greasy if you start adding in extra olive oil and stuff. So we're just gonna do a little bit of a dumping kind of thing here. Now, this is how much chicken we're gonna put in. It's about 3 cups. This is a 2-cup ramekin. It's mostly the dark meat because my kids don't love that, but I do. We're gonna throw that in. I've got a smallish onion that I'm gonna cut up pretty finely. Now, another thing to remember with the chicken stock, remember, this is how Louis Pasteur discovered pasteurization, right? We're gonna reboil that chicken stock, and we're gonna reboil that chicken, and it's gonna last longer. The chicken that you save out to use for another purpose is not gonna last as long as your chicken soup that you make of any kind. So keep that in mind. So I'm just gonna dice up these onions pretty finely. Since we're not sweating them and we're gonna boil them, they will just absorb more water and they'll get bigger. So you might as well cut them pretty small. Pieces about like this, right? A good dice. And that's sort of a smallish onion, but it's one of the main vegetables in this. The other thing we're gonna use is some garlic. Might as well use both. Sometimes you don't use both, and sometimes you do. It just kind of depends on the recipe, but it also kind of depends on your mood, maybe. Maybe you feel like both. So, onion in there. I've got this poblano pepper, which is a little hot. They're not terribly hot. It's not like a habanero or something. So you see how when you cut the top off, it leaves that thing? You just pull this knob out. That's most of the seeds right there. And you just don't want a ton of seeds because we're not trying to we're not winning some hottest chili competition here. You're just going to take out those ribs and seeds, and then I'm gonna cut it into little strips, you know, like that. Just run your knife down the side, get them nice little strips, and then you can dice them from there. So I'm gonna do one of those. And this is gonna make a lot, so I'll probably have some leftovers, and I might eat them for lunch. You know, I love my lunches. But it's funny, you know, I mean, I feel like spring is coming really early. I mean, maybe it's gonna fake us out and we're gonna end up all cold again, but I feel like we're running out of soup season, so I'm gonna need to stop making soup and start eating some of the soup that I've been stashing in my freezer. I'm a very seasonally suggestive person. Maybe it comes from being a gardener too, you know? Kind of know what we're supposed to be having here. The peppers ain't it, but you know, we get all kinds of things from our friends in the Southern Hemisphere at this time of year. Now we're gonna put those in. It's quite a lot, but you know, that's what this is. It's basically an onion and pepper and chicken kind of soup. Now I have another, just a bell pepper, and now it's so funny. I'm sure my long-standing friends are probably sitting here with their mouths open because I have never liked peppers. Like never. I mean, like they're like anathema to me. But you know, as we get older and our taste buds lose their sensitivities, we start eating things that we never thought we would. I still don't really like the green ones, but you know, the yellow, orange, red ones are nice. And I grow a lot of peppers just because they're pretty. They come in such wonderful colors. Purple and brown and white. Okay, and I'm gonna dice this one up too. And these you don't have to get as small because they're not spicy, you know? But you don't want giant chunks of peppers. You want giant chunks of peppers, unless you're braising them. Okay, remember peppers. So that's gonna all go in there. And another thing we're gonna do, here we are with another can of diced tomatoes. Y'all are gonna think all I eat is petite diced tomatoes, but you know, these are the things that are easy to make on a Tuesday night. We can't always be making beautiful sauces. So I'm just gonna kind of dump those in with the juice again. And the last thing, I'm gonna put these 2 garlic cloves in. I'm gonna kind of do it like we did before. I'm just gonna give them a smash and get the skins off. I probably should mince them a little more finely, but not today. I kept, I did a couple of early outtakes of this video where I kept saying it was Tuesday. It was yesterday. Yesterday was Tuesday. We have no idea what day it is. Okay, that's it. And then the last thing we're gonna throw in here is, I love this stuff, this adobo seasoning from Penzeys. It does not have, it's not like the red adobo that you might have seen other places. It's cumin and black pepper and Mexican oregano and some cayenne and a little dried garlic and onion. And it's nice. It's not super hot, but it adds a lot of flavor. We're gonna do a good tablespoon of that. And I'm just gonna stir this up. It's really full right now, but remember those vegetables are gonna cook down and that's gonna be nice. And I'm gonna move this over to a lower burner and we're gonna do our tortilla strips. Now, in this skillet, pretty decent sized skillet, hold on, gotta move our pan. Whew. Asbestos fingers. Okay, in this pan, we are gonna put some kind of light oil, whether you wanna use canola oil or sunflower oil or whatever. This is sunflower oil, that's what we're using. And what you want is, you want the oil to be about a 1/2 inch deep in your pan, because we're not deep frying it, but we do want it deep enough that our tortilla strips will fry in the pan, okay? And the way we make our tortilla strips is very easy. We have corn tortillas, and what you do is take a little stack of them, a few at a time. So you want to batch our tasks, remember? I feel like I'm moving pretty fast, but here we are. It's been 11 minutes. It's been a little bit of a longer one, but you know what? Sometimes we have a few more minutes. So you just want to cut them in strips about 1 centimeter wide. And you want to heat up your oil, and you want to get your oil nice and hot. And now your strips are about like this. And while your oil's heating up, get your little trusty pie plate with some paper towels in it. You can take a minute and clean up your workspace, but I'm not going to go walking around my kitchen. I don't know if you've ever noticed, I have like this bag on top of the trash. That's the recycling. I put it there because the dog likes to get into the trash and see what he can find. And sometimes it's stuff he really shouldn't have. So he shouldn't be dumpster diving anyway. He's a dignified dog. You see he's wearing a bow tie today because he went to the groomer. Now I'm going to throw one of these in here. See how where we're getting. Get our tongs. And so you just kind of want to do these in batches. Do as many, our oil's getting good. Do as many as will kind of fit in a single layer in the pan at a time. I wasn't sure, I had this moment. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to make this. I don't know if I can fry and chop and talk at the same time. Usually, so your tortilla soup is you're gonna want to simmer that for, about a 1/2 hour, to get those vegetables good and cooked down. So usually what I do is I make the tortilla soup and I let it cook, and then I sit and I do nothing for a while. And then I make the tortilla strips after the tortilla soup is ready. And then after that, you're just gonna, when you serve it, you'll want to chop up an avocado and get these nice tortilla strips. And, that's, hi honey, that's how we make this. I'm trying to see if we can get these, as people keep telling me, I want to see the food, I want to see the food. It's just, I can't get some of this stuff cooked in 15 minutes, and that's what Instagram gives me. So we're going to sit here and watch this, and we'll talk a little bit more about some of this, I guess. I don't know. I think that, all of these kinds of things that we're making are things that you can adjust depending on what you like. You can make the tortilla soup vegetarian. You can add more peppers. You could add more, whatever you want to. Here we go. And you'll see they'll start to, you just kind of move them around a little bit with your tongs. If they start looking, one of the signs that they're almost finished is that they'll stop bubbling. If they stop bubbling, that means all the water's out of them. And the water is what's reacting to the oil. Mine are still bubbling, and here we are at 14 minutes and 19 seconds. Guys, are we going to make it? That one looks good. So they'll kind of look like this. Nice and crispy. And that's what you want. Just a nice weeknight meal. Again, if your kids don't like this, give them some plain chicken and some tortilla strips and some salad, and you'll be fine. Right? We'll all be fine. Have a good night. I'll see you soon.